Okay, moving on with section 1.1. We are now evaluating the expression for x equals 4. These 6 questions that you're going to be dealing with, those are all classwork, so we're going to be doing those together, and then I'll give you a few that you're going to do on your own. When we evaluate an expression, I want you to notice none of these have equal signs. So we're not figuring out what x is. We actually know what x is with that x equals 4. So what we're going to do, evaluate means that we are substituting, and I can spell that, a number for our variable. In this case, we're going to substitute 4 in. So on number 1, x plus 8, instead of x, we're going to write 4 plus 8. So we're taking out the x and putting in 4. And then you just do the math. 4 plus 8 gives you 12. And that is your answer for number 1. On number 2, x plus 10, that's going to be 4 plus 10. Add those together, and we get 14. 16 minus x, so that's going to be 16 minus 4. Whoops, I'll write the same thing again. 16 minus 4, which is 12. Moving on down, 28 divided by x is 28 divided by 4, which gives us 7. And you can use the calculator on problems like this if you don't know those things off the top of your head. On number 12, what we have out here, for those of you who don't know, if we have a 5 outside of the parentheses and there's nothing in between, there's no plus or minus right here, that means that we are multiplying 5 by everything in this parentheses. And we're not going to be distributing yet. We're not jumping to that point. We're actually just setting that 4 right in for x. So we're going to have 5 times 4 plus 3. And then we go with what we know about the order of operations, which we're also going to get into a little bit more later. But the order of operations is parentheses, then exponents, then multiplication and division, whichever is first left to right, and then addition and subtraction, whichever is first left to right. So what we're going to do first is our parentheses. So 4 plus 3 gives us 7. And then we're going to drop down anything we don't use. So now what this is, this 5 parentheses 7, means 5 times 7. 5 times 7 is 35. Number 14, I'm going to use a bit more space for. When we're dividing, so whenever we have a fraction, remember we're dividing the top by the bottom. When we have this whole thing on the top and this on the bottom, we're going to simplify, get it down to one number, the top and the bottom, and then we'll divide. So dividing is actually the last step we're going to do. First thing we're going to do is substitute in 4. So 5 times 4 plus 52 divided by 3 times 4. So first we're going to get rid of those parentheses by multiplying. So 4 times 5, or 5 times 4, is 20, plus 52 divided by 12. Then I'm going to add 20 and 52, so that's going to give me 72 divided by 12. And 72 divided by 12 gives me 6. And that is my answer. Keep in mind that when you have a division problem like this, you're basically doing the order of operations for the top and the bottom separately, and then you divide them. So you treat them as 2 separate expressions until you get to the very end. All right, so now I have some problems that you're going to do on your own. Just to get you started on these, I'm going to go ahead and show you what's meant by this. This is the same thing as we were doing before, except for now we have x equals 7 and y equals 4. So what we're going to do on a problem like 17 is to drop down our 2. Instead of x, we're going to write 7 because it's giving us that value for x, and then plus, which we drop down from here, and instead of y, we're going to put 5. And then we're just going to use, you'll need more room than this obviously, you're just going to use the order of operations to add those two and then multiply by 2. So do 17, 20, 21, and 23. Do those on your own. 23 is a bit more challenging, but I want you to really, really try it. Do the best that you can. Understand that it's okay to struggle and it's okay to make mistakes, but you got to try this and keep pushing forward. So that is evaluating the expression. That's the second part of section 1.1, and then the next video will focus on checking our answers to see if that actually does work in an expression, or an equation, I'm sorry.